fifth game of the night about to get thrown down here. Just a moment here. With the way things are going so far, Saints find themselves in the middle of the pack as we drop on in. Sitting there with a solid 100 points. Not too shabby. Out of the 33 teams that are here in these playoff games, we're sitting at, I think, 18th right now, so right in mid-pack. But of course, I know Ciriuhs, I know Laysix and Juneyy want to get themselves further ahead if possible. I do believe last year in PlayVS Fortnite, don't fact check me on this, but I do believe they got 15th as well, which is kind of funny that 15 seems to be the lucky number here for the St. Clair squad as of right now. And it looks like we have ourselves on yet another quiet start here for St. Clair. No contest, which means we get to go hunting for some action. And it looks like we're getting it in the Weeping Woods here. We got Shift 29 Swerved and Juneyy. We haven't really followed these guys a whole heck of a lot so far here today, as they find themselves like in a rather hit or miss kind of night. We do see them with 33 points, definitely struggling here right now. Concordia just not necessarily having the greatest time in the world, and you can see with them being right now where they are in the Weeping Woods, this is completely different from what their normal strategy was, because they used to go up to the coral, up to the oceanic kind of part, up to the north of where the Saints would land. So picking a little bit more of a central location and opting to go for a fight right away, at least for Shift. He did manage to find himself the one elimination. It nearly got his one buddy kind of taken down, but with all these bandages available, Concordia should be able to keep on going. Do see OTP finding one, so Butler off to a relatively decent start as well. See if we can find ourselves any more action in the meantime. If there is any, it would probably be all long range. I don't see any conflicting areas, but as you can see, right in the Coral Castle area, which is just completely empty. Clem Jake, what happened over here? That's gonna be Rocket Man getting himself kind of messed with. I believe that was Clem. Or it's going to be Mika Who, and that's going to be, I believe, Dr. Duke alongside him there. This battle's going to keep on going. Big Riv going to go point blank there with him. Cap Daddy going to be having himself a rough time. We do see even right now, they're definitely having themselves a hard time in regards to the amount of points so far. After 4 games, you have 20 points. That's definitely brutal, but Rocket Man, however, did find himself a kill, so going to at least get himself 1 point on the board here. Clemson squad having themselves a little bit of a hard time, and they still need to be very, very careful. Ashland's still right on their heels. Gonna be Rocket Man find himself into a fight right on the Bony Blurbs. Captain Addy does end up getting picked off here. It's gonna be Mika looking for his 2nd kill of the game, and sure enough, they're gonna clean things up nice. They do lose Duke, however, Big Riff, Mika Who going to be able to keep on going with 3 kills already for that team. That's already a solid run. Juneyy finding himself a couple of good eliminations here. And our Saints, we might need to go take a look and see what's going on, because we are going point blank here with one of the members of University of Tennessee. Laysix getting aggressive once again. A surprising amount of early eliminations. Two teams already taken off the board in its entirety. To have 9 kills already within like the first couple of minutes, that's definitely a change of pace compared to what we've been seeing so far here in these PlayVS Fortnite Trio Finals. It's definitely interesting. Again, we do see Laysix with a good couple shots there with that rifle, making it work for him. But again, this is going to be the third game in a row here. The Saints actually don't have to go like cross country and like run for the hills, pick up a car, and go to the other side of the map to get into the safe zone. The safe zone's coming to them this time by once again. And that is just so much action across the board here. Kind of curious as to what on earth is going on. Why is there so much fighting? I guess this area in the middle could very well be a interesting collision point. And right over at the Bony Blurbs again. I call burbs, not blurbs. We have ourselves yet another fight. This is going to be lucky. So University of Wisconsin-Madison up against York here in the burbs. Quieted down for a second. However, I don't think York realizes that their opponents are running for the hills. They might very well get away with it. They get into the car, they should be a-okay. So I go looking for action, and they all call their jets. So I guess it's one of those days here on the observing side of things. Saints take themselves a little bit of heat in regards to some shield damage there from Laysix, but otherwise nothing too crazy there for them. And like, look at this, 19 kills already within the first couple of minutes before the first storm even happens. There's been games where we would get to what would feel like the 20-minute mark, and we'd still have 30 teams on the board. Just a complete change of pace. Let's sort this out by eliminations as of right now. Lots of kills on the board across multiple teams in this case. Possible battle here right on the outskirts. Another team that's been struggling so far in these playoff series here with Liberty University. Just trying to make something happen here. Sneak themselves an elimination or so. I wonder who is that exactly there with them. So that's going to be the Wayne County Community College. First seeds of the entire event. Not quite finding themselves anything as of this moment. Miami University of Ohio, however, find themselves another fantastic start, it looks like. Finding 2 kills onto one of the teams that they were just competing up against, and just have to find that one straggler, and they'll find themselves another 5 eliminations for them already. They went in guns blazing, and it is absolutely paying off for them here. Storm location, however, for the Saints is not going to be optimal. They're going to have to move in a little bit, just ever so slightly on the outside looking in. Should be able to get in there pretty well uncontested. I know they're taking it cautious. They know there's another team to the north of them, so taking their time squeaking on in here. But let's take a look at this, the weaponry check. Do find an NPC, probably going to take it down in just a second, and actually opting to just go full defense on it. Did not want to deal with that, but Juneyy, loaded up on shields, loaded up on first aid meds, completely ready to play that support role that he's been doing for the most part of the season. Laysix, let's take a look. Purple assault rifles, of course, pretty standard there for Saints considering their route. Bunch of little shields available as well if need be. Harpoon, not too bad. Ciriuhs, loaded up on shields as well, has a harpoon as well, ready for some mid or short to mid-range combat. Not too bad in the slightest. Definitely sitting a little bit better compared to how they were in the last game, but that being said, the last game they actually made it pretty far, so not only about which resources you happen to find, but how do you use it. Keep yourself as in this game as long as possible. Team to the south of the Saints right here. Spotted on O. This is going to be Tennessee, I believe. Yeah, so the University of Tennessee Knoxville looking to slow down the Saints' push into this safe zone. The Saints are going to fortify up a little bit with some of their cheaper resources. Good chunk of shield damage, though, across the entire board here for St. Clair. And some new challengers are approaching from multiple angles now here for the Saints, making things a little bit uncomfortable. To have team literally about to flank them in just a second. Laysix gonna try and open fire here on them. McCore is there. Ciriuhs is without shields and he is hurt, but can he keep himself alive just a little bit longer? Juneyy getting open fired upon as well. You can't even really see who's taking him down at this point. And through the leg, we're going to see McCore end up getting the kill onto Laysix as the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Juneyy and Ciriuhs still alive, however, literally right above them. The Wisconsin-Madison were ready and waiting. All hope is not lost, but it's definitely not comfortable, to say the least, here for your Saints. It almost looked like Ciriuhs was kind of hunting for a little bit there, but would definitely think twice, considering that would be, I believe, a 3-on-2. No, it is actually a 2-on-2, it looks like. Juneyy might spot this out and be able to make a jump, however. We'll have to see in just a second. Sure enough, he's going to be able to, but as soon as that wall goes down, the side of University of Wisconsin-Madison, they were waiting for that play to happen. They knew that the Saints were going to jump on it. So ready and waiting with a wall. Juneyy's turn to try to make a run. Saints are going to try and make a play to the outskirts of this safe zone instead of going directly into the swing of things, possibly putting themselves in danger. Put themselves right on the creek, basically, or right along the river. A bunch of teams on the other side. 69 players still in the game. 25 teams. And we definitely want to see our Saints make it out of the 20s at least here. That's kind of been the pattern of things. They make themselves get into the top 10, then they have like a 20-something kind of game, and it's definitely not going to put them on pace for a high-scoring rank if they keep flip-flopping. Good guy Juneyy here with the shields. Oh, I'm curious. Laysix was the one with the purple scar, wasn't he? Yeah, so the Laysix going down, it's a little bit unfortunate. Of course, we know Laysix likes to get aggressive, but unfortunately here for the Saints, I meant they put all of the, or they gave the good weapon off the NPC, the good purple scar, to Laysix. He goes down, ends up trading that one off to the Wisconsin-Madison player, and leaving the rest of the team just with a bunch of standard assault rifles. Storm shrinks, but at the same time, Saints don't have to actually move very far, and they're one of the first teams into the safe zone as of right now. They can fortify amp. We do see a lot of brick being used. Use some of the harder stuff to try and punch through. Juneyy watching the one end, Ciriuhs having the other. See a battle on the horizon there. I don't know about you, but I kind of want to see what's going on with this gigantic mess that is going down to the south. It's not going to let me click through, so I'm going to quickly hop into free cam and go take a look. Works out too since we're frozen for a moment. Well, this is quite the tycoon being built here, to say the least. When's the next crew going to find some kills? This is just an absolute mess. There is like 7 teams all fighting for this lone corner of the storm, and it is an absolute cluster. This is honestly best case scenario here for St. Clair. Let them fight it out. Just let them get crazy with it. Don't worry about these other engagements. Just let these guys try to burn themselves out, very similarly to what we've seen the University of Maryland do earlier in, I think it was game number, would have been game number 3. But we gotta hop on over to Ciriuhs because he got peppered by something. A team from across the valley looks like took some solid damage off of his shields. And not only that, the leg seems to kill Juneyy, so it's gonna be Sleeztron knocking him down. Extremely brutal time here, but if there is one saving grace, it is the storm location. Ciriuhs is basically the only one in the safe zone right now. There's absolutely no chance, however, that they can keep Juneyy in this game. He is going to get killed off, but that does mean that Ciriuhs gets to gather up all of these healing resources. But he's got to watch out not to get peppered by stuff. It's a little bit awkward here with the lag, because it does seem like he's just getting shot through the wall. He's slowly going to be chipped away here. The red team is right on top of him. He's not going to be long for this world, I do not think. And the Saints are going to end up going down at 20th as of this moment, I think. Unless Ciriuhs wants to prove me wrong. That being said, though, swerved, doing a solid job. I think he may have came in and kind of saved Ciriuhs Bacon a little bit. Kind of forcing the squad that was chasing him down to kind of redirect their attention. And Ciriuhs, he's not going to have any shields, but he's going to at least have 75 health to work with, which isn't too shabby. That being said, though, a solid couple headshots, like 2 headshots, he could very well go down. Get smoked by a bow and arrow, then you're absolutely toast, however. And of course, 116 points total here for the Saints, so only like 16 points here in this game, all specifically off of positioning. How well can Ciriuhs lay low in this situation? Of course, all the battle was just around this position. has moved since then. That's still gonna do that, eh? Bugger. Okay. Always a learning experience here with these broadcasts. Ciriuhs, couple pot shots, gonna take some shields down. Nearly finding himself a kill, has a lot of health damage taken off one of those players. And Ciriuhs does knock down Steve Gremlin, but can he find himself the finishing blow? The more he plays in the storm, the more it'll eat away at him, and he has absolutely nothing to get himself back into this game. We'll see where this puts him. They very well might take him out. We'll have to see. At the very other side of this leg, he somehow healed himself and found himself an elimination. So Ciriuhs, the absolute legend, going to find himself a second one, and he's really starting to make this one work here. Top 15, can he find one more? He does find one more. Takes care of Toastiest Waffles. A little bit of a revenge shot from Monday's playoffs. Beautifully done there for Ciriuhs. He's now got himself 5 eliminations off of basically like one quick swoop. However, he is definitely being peppered. He has been hunted down, and he is going to go down here. Saints are going to get 13th. Respectable, not too bad, just above halfway here in this game. If there wasn't any eliminations, I would have said that was like okay at best, but with the Saints finding themselves a good couple of eliminations as well, makes that a very, very solid run. We'll have to see exactly how solid shortly. However, it is now late game here for this 5th round. Very similar situation. Once again, everybody from North Virginia Community College here, front of the pack, ready to rock, doing a bunch of eliminations on top of that as well. Not necessarily the ones in the high ground positioning, however. That honors, let's see who that goes to, as we see Pozak going for multiple kills, and that's on the University of Maryland. So some big, big kills coming in for North Virginia Community College. 8 teams still in the game. See University of Houston there with Siphon, Eagle, and check-ins. Just holding the low ground as much as possible. Doinks and Burkeefin, however, going on quite the tear as well. 7 teams still in the game. Range 10, though, that's one of the members of North Virginia Community College going down. Pozak, however, is still doing an absolute killer of a job until he does finally meet the shotgun of Gage. So 5 teams left in here, 9 players, make that 4. And it's just ticking away. Burkeefin downs but not out. It's going to be up to Doinks to try and carry that team away. Sayward and Xcrow still in the game. Twitch Arrow, the 3rd member of the fishing crew, hanging in there. And actually, the whole fishing crew is still here. They were the ones in the high ground this entire time. They come out of nowhere and are absolutely pulling it off as of right now anyway. And that is exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be the 3-on-2 finish here. And Derpy is fishing, Dylan is fishing, and Arrow CK versus Xgrow and Sayward. That is going to be the perfect play coming out here from Dylan is fishing and the rest of the fishing crew, as I was calling them there. Exactly which college they're from or university they're from, that's Texas A&M. Gonna find game number 5's victory. Well, that kind of came out of nowhere. I did not expect Texas A&M to take that victory. And we haven't really talked about them a whole heck of a lot, actually, in this series so far. So for them to come out of nowhere, get themselves a solid round, that is a fantastic job on their end. And then Saints, respectable run as well, getting themselves into top 15. I believe they got 13th in that last one. And Ciriuhs at the very end, though, was just absolutely nuts. Just like running it through the buildings, shotgun in hands, managed to go from 0 to 5 kills just by getting quick pickoffs. It was beautifully done in that regard. We are going to take a quick look and see now where this does end up putting us. And that's kind of interesting, actually. We do end up taking 36 points on the game, so a little bit on the lower side still, thanks to a bit of an earlier exit in that late game. However, not the worst we've seen, and this is going to put us here into 16th position still, hanging on to that spot. And then who other but then the people who just actually won that game. Therapy is fishing, Dylan is fishing, and Arrow CK come out of nowhere to take spot number 15 after that one. Currently leading, though, after game number 5, it is going to be North Virginia Community College, almost 100 points ahead of the second place team, of course, that being Elite Connor, Connor, Gage, and Exceed OG from Bay State College there. And then meanwhile, Carnegie Mellon University quietly making themselves known here, getting themselves consistently up into that 3rd position spot. Awesomely done in that regard. Not a very high scoring team, but they've just been consistent in regards to their placements. Average placement of 8th, so just constantly being in the top 10, doing them wonders here. They'll go here, so this is going to be the University of Tennessee. Knoxville doing a solid job as well, getting themselves into the top 5. And then with one more game to go, if the University of Maryland want to find themselves a victory, they need somehow 130 points. I'm not even sure if that's possible. To be fair, do they need to like wipe out the entire field? They have to hope, essentially. Like, all of the pressure right now is going to be on Stendo, Hush, and Pozic, because all they have to do is just not die. And I think they win this, and they're going to be your champions here for the PlayVS Fortnite Trios event. If they do go down early, however, that could spell trouble. But I think the only real team that could actually contest them might be Elite Connor and his squad over at Bay State. But with that, though, we're going to take ourselves one more quick break, and then we will see the conclusion here of this PlayVS Fortnite Trios season, the playoffs, and the conclusion of everything Saints Gaming here, or the St. Clair Saints varsity esports team for this semester. Crazy to think about. Been a long but amazing season, and I want to see how our Saints can do to finish off the job. We'll be right back.